Hello, welcome to wildsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinson, and your name is amazing. Well, yesterday I had an hour with the art journaling group with Miss Amy at the Camden Library, and she brought us a wonderful treat, which I have been playing with since after the group met yesterday. Let me see if I can get these some closer. You see these luscious leaves? So apparently somebody had sent a letter that had these beautiful leaves on it, and she said we should just copy them, you know, for fun. So I did that. This was one of the kinds of leaves. And another of the kinds of leaves was this one, only on the letter they were all colored in. And it looked a little like stained glass. Isn't that pretty? So this is a guest book, you know, like this, that I bought for like $1 at an odd lot store. And I'm just filling it with all the fun stuff. That's actually not my picture, but somebody gave it to us. So I came home and I kept playing. Let's see what you can see here. So I love these leaves that kind of look like little hearts. And then I played with, I don't know, like all these veins in a potential leaf. This little row may not be complete. We might need to work on that a little bit. And look at this little bunch of leaves, and these are all very plain. And as I was drawing these, just having a lot of fun. So this is the one I drew when I first got home. Actually, I guess I can give it to you like this, with all these long sort of corn stalk leaves, and then this kind of lotus bud. Yeah, I'm mixing up my plants. There we go. And then look at this. Oh, I had so much fun. I drew this with my .05. Am I anywhere near? Yes. Pen. Just so that I could get some really delicate looking stuff going on. How about this page? Ta-da! I love these. All the little curly cues and the bubbles. And this kind of looks like sage, doesn't it? And then this one I drew with the .05, and this is with the .5. So you know, the darker line of the thicker pen. And then I drew this, it's just a circle on a stick. So I drew the stem, and then I just drew the sticks in. But I still think it's really effective. And then I got sort of down and at it last night in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep. So see the little crinkly, jaggedy edge on these? This is like that first picture I showed you in the book. And this is kind of like the second picture I showed you in the book, except I added these little, like, seed stalks on it. And this is that heart leaf again. So I'm thinking that I might copy it off and then color it, and then I could use it. I had actually thought of this idea before I saw Nick do it. I had thought of this, but she got it out on the internet first, so yay, Nick. Anyway, you can copy these and then color them, and then print the colored copies onto sticky label paper, and then you can cut it out, and you sort of have made yourself some really exotic washi paper. So I have one more thing to show you. And then, so the thing I have to show you is that I make postcards for my daughter. This is just 2 layers of cardstock glued together, and it's, you know, pretty thick, and I think it's going to make it through the mail. Okay, they seem to have. She's received others that are 2 layers of cardstock glued together. And this was another one of the patterns from last night. It's a really simple mandorla shape, but half of it has these sort of stripes of color, and then the other half is the green. But I figured this looked like a nice sort of spring thing that might be happening. I'm in Maine and she's in New York, and there's no way spring is happening right now. But if you live further south than we do, you might get some spring happening. But in any case, these are these tender little thin stalks that come out at first light of the spring. I realize we're still in the dead of winter up here in Maine. Yeah, we still have a couple of feet of snow out there. Anyway, I wanted to walk you through. I think that looking at a full page of drawings like this is completely intimidating, and I often don't do it. And what was thrilling about yesterday is that I had an excuse to sit for an hour with everybody else in the group, and we were all just being with each other, supporting each other, doing some actually pretty simple leaves. So let's talk about how simple we could make this so that you too do not get stuck. Where's the bottom? Where's the, okay. I'm going to use the thicker of the 2, the 0.5 rather than the 0.5, just to, so I'm sort of sure that you can see this on the camera. So the way this was actually just really fun to do. Let me show you how I started on that one. So I just came up, made a curly Q, and then came right back. And you can see that I did not follow at a particular width from the first line, so it's a little bit of a scribble flower. And then you go up a little further with the next curl and come back. And you go up a little further and come back. And you just keep this going all the way to the top of your page. When I was doing this last night, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning and I wasn't sleeping. And it's actually kind of a cool thing. I didn't have much energy in the battery of my computer. So, because my cord is downstairs here in my studio. And I had stayed up late listening to music on my laptop. Yeah, so anyway, when I woke up in the middle of the night, I didn't have much laptop energy left over. Am I now solidly out of range? Yes. Ooh, I made a goop. Okay, so this is going to be the top. Because if I'm going to copy it, I have to be aware of the edges of the page don't usually copy. So I'm just sort of mimicking this one for you because I think it's just amazingly effective. So you can see that I just drew a line out and a little scribble seed pod. A line out, a line out, a line out. Pretty easy. So to fill in these blank spaces and give us a little bit of room to put in some color, later on. So let's do that. Let's do a line out and just a scribble. And let's do 3. See, just like that. And over here, let's just leave 1. So mix it up. Maybe do 2. Oops. 1. There's a big space. So it's filling in that space nicely, and you'll be able to take like a colored pencil and just follow the lines. It doesn't really have to be any more remarkable with the coloring. Actually, let's do that a little. So I have here these are Prismacolor. This one's apple green, and this one's grass green, this darker one. So what if we made the vine itself again? I'm not following these lines perfectly. Okay, so you get the idea with that. And then let's draw over these stems with the pale green. And then I have an idea. What if we made the little seed pods? This is True Blue, Bleu Franc. Just to add a little, you could make them, what would happen if we made them, do I have a purplish color? This is violet blue, and this is just violet. Let's use the violet and see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you think? Here's some violet, here's some blue. If I decided to go with all violet, I could just sort of color over the top of these. Yeah, what do you think? Actually, this is kind of cool with the blue underneath the purple. It starts giving it a little dimension, which means that covering part of the stem in this paler green and then leaving the outsides for the darker green, or some variation like that. Then we start getting some real stuff going on. You could probably, this blue is called non-photo blue. When you reproduce this blue, actually this is a silly color to use. For some reason, copiers don't catch this blue. So that's not going to work very well. It's great though if you want to make a grid line, you know, like how to make your vine kind of straight, you can use that. You could also draw black lines on this and do your drawing on a light box or on a window, tape it up to, to a window, and that could keep you sort of straight and in bounds too. Yeah, so there. So let's try another one of these. Okay, we'll do this one because it looks super complicated. This one here. So the way that I drew it was I actually started out a little bit like this one. came up and drew a skinny leaf like that. And then I went over to this side and drew a skinny leaf. Let's see if I can make this a little more visible to you. I'm not holding the pen as upright as I might. Okay, so far, all I'm doing is doing a curl up and then come back to finish the mandorla, the leaf shape. So kind of curl it out to the other side and finish the leaf. Longish arc and finish the leaf. And again, you can do a little pencil line up if you want that, which might not be bad because I think I'm leaning a little that way, and then erase it later so you don't have that. Okay, I'm confusing myself now. Alrighty, so then I came back and did the raggedy edge, the little, what's that called, like the dandelion, the toothed edge, that's what it is. Dent de lion. The tooth, so you come down and go up, and come down and go up, and down and up, and down. Now the thing that I started having trouble with was I would curl this line too close in too fast. So I had to be careful about that. So keep kind of pushing the line out a bit. And same thing, and I kept all the toothed parts of the leaves down on the bottom side of the leaf. So I'm going to draw here and here and here, sort of on the outside, bottom side of the leaf. So I want to make this so you can see it. I also have to hold the pen. Actually, this line is a lot darker than the other line. Alrighty, down and up, and down and up, and down and up, and down. That's actually pretty clunky. I don't like that as much. You know what? This is going to work out better with the skinnier pen. So this is the 0.05 pen. Down and up, and down and up. Yeah. Okay, so the thing that I'm doing that I'm not liking about this, let me see if I can show you. On this one and on this one, when I go down and come back up, that's too much, that's too far away from the down line. I want to make those smaller. See, this one's a little closer in, and I think it's more beautiful to me, to my eye. So I want to come down and just a little up. This is tricky. See, I made sort of a rounded. I don't like that either. The little teeth look cooler when they look pretty sharp. These biting. The other thing we could try is coming up from the bottom. So come up and down and up and down and up. Oh, this is actually a little easier for my hand to draw. That's a thing to know. Up and down and up. I'm making them so small you can hardly see them. So that's not a good thing either. Yeah, I think coming up from the bottom is, for whatever reason, easier for my hand. Then, again, the colors. You can, I highly recommend doing this. Make your own kind of color sheet, coloring sheet. So finish drawing all of the little black lines that you want. And then on the top of this one, I put a little curly Q because I really like them. And again, it's just going around in the curly Q and then come right back down again. Now, these stems are all single lines, and I like them a little bit better when there's a bit of dimension. But I don't think we have to do it so that it's perfect. So you can do it sort of fast, and it's a little wiggly. That just gives us a little bit more going on. And in the book, when I did this, whoops, and I copied this woman's drawings precisely, she put these stripes, and every leaf had a different stripe color. They were also really long, and she really put some, quite a bit of bend in her leaf, which I think is really beautiful. See, this one doesn't have much bend, and I think this one that has quite a bit of curl in it looks prettier. That's a thing to think about too. And then over here on this one that I drew in the middle of the night, I put in these little, like, sort of skinny leaves. Again, this sort of cornstalk, long, tall, twisting. Do you see how this one twists? Let me show you how to draw that because it's really cool. Let's do it in the thicker pen. So you draw a wiggling line. How much of that did you get? You got it. And then come down but cross over your line every now and again. Isn't that beautiful? I love how that looks. Then you can color it in, and you can, if you go light, dark, it'll look like this tall, skinny leaf is actually bending, and you're seeing the front side, the back side, the front side, the back side, like that. Little tricks. Which one is this? Odd 5. I think in this one I made the leaves further apart from each other than I did. Yes. Here, the two leaves on this side are very close together, and here they're pretty far apart. So, you could even draw 2. Have them cross over each other. Yeah, so just really fill in that space. If you wanted to add, you could add these little like seed pod things, but without having them be attached. I should not be drawing and talking at the same time. So we could, just to add in, could kind of be, this is more of an August picture then, but it could be pollen, in the sky, or little dust motes of the spring. I hope this is not making you sneeze. But just as a little artistic element, what do they call them? An artistic, not a trick, not a design element. Oh, the word is like really close. Anyway, just a little way to put a little more interest. And now has 3. And that makes that curly Q at the top make a little more sense. And we'll keep adding in little fairy dust there. That's what we can call it. It won't make us sneeze. This is fairy dust in the spring when the fairies are shaking out their rugs from their little winter abodes. So there we go. Won't that be fun to color in? And please do, don't, this isn't like coloring when we were 3 and we had to prove something to somebody about how we were. A little red. I just wanted to sharpen that. This one is crimson red. Oops, I made it so sharp I broke it. Yeah, because if they're fairy colors, then I could add in a little blue too. So we've got some yellow going on. Add some blue in there. So I realize I'm coloring these before I have copied them, but that's okay. And then you can kind of take the side of your pencil maybe and color this in. This is what I think I'm going to do on this particular set. And then I'll take the darker green. Let's do the plain part. I'll go over this just a little bit, just lightly. And then we can take the green, the lighter green, and go over these little spindles. That's something like a tendril, which is what this actually is. I don't know where the spin part of that word came from. I just make stuff up. What if we added just a little bit of blue? Alright, so there. What do you think of that? That's kind of pretty, and wouldn't that make amazing if you printed these out on, you know, that Avery label paper, clear label paper, or white. No, do the clear. That's better. Then you could get these just luscious washi tapes for yourself. Oh, so one clue I was thinking about making your own washi tape is, see how I've left all this white space? Well, if we wanted to make washi tape, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense to have a whole bunch of empty space in here. So I might make another vine, go right up here, and then when you cut stuff into tapes, you know, if you ended up, even, you know, if there's something else there too, and you get, you know, a part of one line and a part of another line or vine, that's still okay. Or, and this of course is, you know, like, let's think ahead and stop having so much fun, or have a different kind of fun, is you could fill an entire page with just this kind and scooch them pretty close together, or just this kind, or just this, you know, and just bump them up so that the lines come together, and then you're really using your whole page and you don't have, you know, empty spots. You could also write words that are about spring, and I hope you have a lovely spring. Oh my gosh, isn't this fun? I mean, just keep on going and going and going. Trying to get you a nice shot. All the prettiness. Let's bring in some colored pencils. There. Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? So, I wish you a very happy and only slightly compelling, like, you know that commercial about can't eat just one Lay's potato chip? I actually tried that once. You can't eat one Lay's potato chip. But you know how you want to, like you can't stop. You're having so much fun. So I wish you, may your blessing for today be, and mine too, may we take good care of ourselves and have compelling good fun that we are, in fact, in control of, so that we don't let the soup for tonight's dinner boil over on the stove because we're having too much fun drawing pictures of spring vines, just like that one. This one really came out nicely. Thank you for sitting with me while I figured that out. I just love all the little fairy dots. This was really fun and really cool. And have a great day. And I hope you are encouraged about drawing and how we don't have to be perfect. And it still comes out okay. Even when you color outside the lines, even when you make wiggly lines and they're all kind of wobbly, there's a way to incorporate that in our drawings so that it looks like we meant it. I meant it to look like that and be wonky. So have fun and be colorful. Bye.